So today we're looking at Ritchie Blackmore's solo from Burn by Deep Purple. You're going to hear it at full speed, then a little bit slower, and then we'll break it down for you at the end. Alright, here it is. The hardest thing about this solo is probably the speed. You'll find that most of the shapes fit under your fingers quite nicely, but you might have to do a little bit of metronome work just to get up to tempo. We're in the key of G minor. We're using a combination of the G minor pentatonic, the G blues scale, the G natural minor, and the G Dorian, so quite a lot going on. Let's run those various scales in a couple of different positions on the neck. We're going to start off with minor pentatonic shape 1, so we're starting with a G note, fret 3 on the E string. You'll find that all of these scales have those notes in common. So each time you just add in different notes around that core pentatonic idea. The next one we're going to do is the blues scale in the same area. So just adding a C sharp on the A string, fret 4, and on the G string, fret 6. Apart from that, it's just pentatonic. Let's check out the natural minor now, in the same position. This time we're adding a couple of notes. We've got an A and an E flat. Finally, let's check out G Dorian. This time it's the same as the natural minor, but we're going to raise the 6th. So the E flat becomes an E natural. Quite a lot of our solo is spent up in the 10th fret position, so it's worth running all of those scales there too. Starting off with your minor pentatonic. Next, the blues scale. Next, the natural minor. And finally, G Dorian. solo starts in the minor pentatonic. We're going to come in on beat number 3 of the bar and start with a couple of ghost notes before running through the scale. So onto the D string, we've got our 2 pentatonic notes. Continuing up the scale to finger 1 on the G string before returning back to finger 3 on the D. We then got our 2 D string notes again. And then the open D string, kind of muted, almost a ghost note. Then onto the G string, finger 1. Running down through the scale and then back up 1 note. If we put all that together, next our Dorian scale comes in. So it's minor pentatonic, but we're going to add the E note, fret number 2 on the D string in this case. We start off just pentatonic with finger 1 on the D string, a hammer on 1 to 3, and the open string again. Then descending through the Dorian scale, fret 3 to open. Next we jump back up to fret 3 on the D string. And then a hammer on the E to F, fret 2 to 3, followed by the open string. Finishing off minor pentatonic. Let's put that all together. I'll do it slowly with the metronome so you can hear the rhythmic spacings, and we'll go to a close-up so you can see what my fingers are doing. The next section utilises the blues scale. So again, you can think of minor pentatonic, but with an added note. We're going to add, this time, fret number 6 on the G string. So we end up with 3 notes instead of 2 on that string. We start with a ghost note on beat 1, followed by a bend on fret 5 of the G string. We're going to get our vibrato using the whammy bar. The whammy bar is used a few times in this tune, but if you haven't got a bar, then don't worry about it, just go for a really wide vibrato with your fingers. After our whammy bar antics, we're going to leave our note pre-bent and we're going to pick it again. Bring it back down to pitch on fret number 5. Our next lick is pretty fast, using lots of 16th notes and hammer-ons and pull-offs. We're going to lead into it, starting on beat 4 of the bar with 2 8th notes. Finger 1 and 3 on the G string. Then we jump to our 16th note and we're going to play through the blues scale. We've got finger 3 hammering onto 4 on the G string. Pulling off back down the scale and crossing over to finger 3 on the D. We then get some more pull-offs, starting with your 2 pentatonic notes on the G string. Carrying on down 1 note onto the D string and then back up to the G again. That 4-note pattern is then played a further 4 times. From there we finish with a bend, finger 3, fret 5 of the G string. Let's go to a close-up again and hear all that together. We'll carry on to that next lick from the bend that we've just finished on. And we go through this kind of standard pentatonic pattern, bending up the G string, finger 1 on the B then E, crossing over to fret 6 of the B, and then bending that note. Then we got our 3 pentatonic notes again, the E string, the B string, fret 3 and then 6. Followed by a bend on the G string this time, fret 5. We then get some more of the minor pentatonic. We're going to be playing fret 3 on the E string, dropping down to fret 3 of the B string. From there we just run down the scale, 4 notes, finishing on finger 3 of the D string. We then jump to finger 3 of the G string, down 3 notes of the scale, returning to finger 1 of the G string, and then finger 3 and 1 on the G string with some more vibrato from your bar. Okay, we're then jumping up to the 10th fret position. Again, you want to visualise that minor pentatonic shape. To get there, we're going to slide in from fret number 5 on the D string, right up to fret number 12 on the D string. So it's going to be finger number 3 to do that slide, so we land in position. So we've landed on fret 12 of the D string on beat number 1. From there, we're going to carry on up the scale. When we get to finger 3 on the G string, we're going to pull off and come back down. That bit's in 8th note triplet, so it's got a kind of a lazy feel. Next we lead into a 16th note pull-off pattern. We're going to start with fret 10, finger 1 on the G string, and then up to our 16th notes, finger 3 on the G string is going to pull off, carrying on onto the D string, and then back up to finger 1 on the G. That fourth 16th note pattern is then going to repeat a further 3 times. On the next time, we end 1 note early to finish on finger 3 of the D string. From there we drop to 8th notes and we start climbing up the G string for 10, 11, 12. Followed by a bend at fret number 11 of the B string. Then finger 3, fret 10 of the G string. Finishing off that lick with more 16th notes and more hammer-ons and pull-offs. We're going to play the G string. We'll start with finger 1 on fret 10, hammer on and pull off from 12, and then cross down to finger 3 on the D. Back to finger 1 on the G string, and finishing with our pull-off 12 to 10. Our next lick sounds really impressive with constant alternate picking 16th notes. It's all staying on 1 string though, all on the G string. We're going to be playing 2 notes followed by 2 open strings, and that pattern continues throughout this lick. Our first 2 notes, we're going to play fret 12 and 15 on the G, followed by the 2 open strings. Then we drop down to fret 10 and 12 on the G, followed by 2 open strings. We'll alternate those 2 patterns for 3 bars, so we play it 6 times in total. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which brings us to bar number 4, where it changes a little bit. We're going to start off the same, but this time we're going to travel down a little further. After that we drop down to fret number 8 and 10. Remember, following it each time with 2 open strings, and then back to fret number 10. So bar number 4. Bar number 5 is going to be exactly the same as that. And then we start working down the string from fret 10 where we finished. We drop down to 8 again, 8 and 10. 2 open strings. Fret number 7 and 8. 5 and 7. 3 and 5. That lick finishes off with a bend, fret number 5 on the G string, bending up a whole step. So let's do that slowly with the metronome, and you can see a close-up. Coming into the final 4 bars of the solo now, from that bend that we just finished on. We're going to re-pick it 4 times and then the lick come back down to pitch. Then some more pull-offs. We're going to play fret 5 again, pulling off to 3, pulling off to the open string. And then the Dorian scale, we're going to use fret 2 on the G string. We're going to hammer on to fret 3, pull off again to 2, pull off to the open string. Dropping onto the D string, we're going to play fret number 3, move to fret 5 and pull off through 5, 3, 2, open, all from the Dorian scale. From there, back to fret 3 on the D, and the open G. That runs straight into the next section where we slide up to fret number 7 and have some more minor pentatonic ideas. Just finger 1 on the G, coming back down through finger 3 and 1 on the D. Back to the G string, finger 1. Back to the D string, finger 3, and then finger 1 on the G string again. We play it twice and then bend up a whole step to resolve. You'll hear on the record and on the demo that once we've done that bend at the end, we use the whammy bar vibrato again. It's a little bit slower this time and you hear the note creeping back to pitch too. Okay, we're at the end of another solo. Don't forget to practice slowly and use your metronome. Your metronome is your friend. You've got to show it some love.